Renegade Immortal Episode 91. Wanner, I know you don't want to devour this child. Trust me. I will handle it. I won't harm him. Li Muwan is unwilling to devour Zhou Ru. Although this is Li Muwan's choice, it is not what Wang Lin, the undead, wishes. Picking up from last time, as everyone knows, in the original story of Xian Ni, Xiaobai, unable to bear Zhou Ru being devoured by Li Muwan's nascent soul, thus sought out the karma-severing fruit. However, just as Xiaobai was urging Zhou Ru to eat the karma-severing fruit, Wang Lin suddenly appeared. What a loyal fox spirit protecting its master! Although fear flickered in Xiaobai's eyes, it still stood firmly in front of Zhou Ru. Uncle, what is the karma-severing fruit? Take this karma-severing fruit. Wanner inside your body, though she won't die, will become extremely weak. Hearing this, Zhou Ru immediately threw the fruit in her hand into the mountain stream. Uncle, I won't eat this fruit. Please don't hurt Xiaobai, okay? Wang Lin nodded. Then he turned and left. Little Ruo knows what to do. I will reunite you with Sister Wanner. Time flew by, and 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. One day, in the land of the Xiani at the border of the Chu state, a deep pit suddenly emitted dense black mist. Then, the black mist transformed into a giant plant. But just then, a giant net descended from the sky. As the giant net appeared, it immediately enveloped the continuously growing plant within it. The Five Immortals clan, hidden for tens of thousands of years. Today, no one can stop our clan's reappearance in the cultivation world. As soon as the voice fell, an old man with a weathered face slowly walked out of the deep pit. However, at the center of his brow, 11 leaves actually appeared. The moment the old man stepped out of the deep pit, the 5 flying swords hanging on the net suddenly emitted a deafening sword cry. The next second, 2 of the flying swords, like lightning, shot straight towards the old man. The first-generation vermilion bird child of the vermilion bird country sacrificed himself, with the lives of 9 mid-stage ascendant cultivators, to forge these 5 sealing swords, sealing my Xiani clan for tens of thousands of years. Today, I, this old man, can also do it. Sacrifice myself to let my Xiani clan reappear on the earth. Then, he pointed his right hand to the void. Instantly, the 2 flying swords trembled and returned. With 2 loud bangs, the 2 flying swords pierced deeply into the old man's chest. It turned out that in the battle back then, the old man was powerless to turn the tide. He could only watch helplessly as countless clansmen died. Although he luckily survived until now, his heart was like dead ashes. So today, with the determination to die, he used his life for the Xiani clan to take these 5 sealing swords. At that moment, 2 more flying swords were drawn through the air, piercing into the old man's body again. The old man stared at the golden net above, at the last flying sword hovering there. With a roar, the last flying sword whistled down, instantly piercing his glabella. Though I, this old man, am a sinner, my death can bring about our clan's great resurgence. Let my body replace the Xiani tree to be sealed by these 5 swords. Let my soul, as a sacrifice, allow our clan to reappear in the world. With a final shout, as the old man was about to disappear, he fiercely tore at the sky with both hands. In an instant, a huge sound spread throughout the entire vermilion bird star. The golden net seemed as if it was torn in 2 by a pair of invisible giant hands. At the same time, the giant plant formed from the black mist seized the opportunity to rush out of the golden net. In an instant, it became a thing supporting heaven and earth. But the old man also completely disappeared along with it. At this time, countless Xiani clansmen flew out from the deep pit. A deafening roar suddenly resounded from the depths of the Xiani land. Its momentum was so vast it rushed to the clouds, spreading throughout the entire vermilion bird star. Meanwhile, in the cultivation cave on Vermilion Bird Mountain, where the vermilion bird child was in seclusion, a furious roar suddenly erupted. Immediately after, the vermilion bird child, dressed in a red robe, instantly appeared in the void. Xiani remnants, you are seeking death. Forcefully, he grasped at the air with his right hand. The clouds in the sky seemed to be pulled by an invisible force. In an instant, a white token condensed from the clouds appeared in his hand. Hi, in the name of the 14th generation Vermilion Bird Child, command all cultivation countries on the Vermilion Bird Star. The second war against the Xiani clan begins. However, this catastrophe about to sweep the Vermilion Bird Star had no relation to the current Wang Lin, the undead. At this moment, he was preparing to confront the Heavenly Tao for the second time. Although there were still 2 years until Li Muwan's nascent soul awakened, in the past year, the growth rate of Li Muwan's nascent soul had clearly slowed. She seemed somewhat resistant to continued growth, and even more unwilling to devour Zhou Ru's soul. Wang Lin understood. This was because Li Muwan's consciousness had somewhat recovered. She already knew everything before her. She was unwilling to sacrifice an innocent child in exchange for her own awakening. Although this was Li Muwan's choice, it was not what Wang Lin wished. So Wang Lin, the undead, used the spiritual power in his body to forcibly make Li Muwan's nascent soul continue to grow. Wana, I know you don't want to devour this child. Trust me. I will take care of it. I won't harm him. This time, you still can't take Li Muwan's soul. No. The Heavenly Tao emissary descends upon Wang Lin again. He waited 19 years for this day. Even if he has to give his all, he must protect Li Muwan's nascent soul. Picking up from last time regarding Zhou Ru. This kindness I, Wang Lin, the undead, will repay, Wang Lin had said. After you die, I will make your Zhou family prosperous for generations throughout the entire Chu country. Wang Lin, in the end, still lied to Li Muwan. After all, in Wang Lin's heart, Zhou Ru and Li Muwan were not comparable. So, after weighing his options, he decided to sacrifice Zhou Ru. This choice, though cruel, was also extremely unbearable for Wang Lin. But as an old monster who had cultivated for over 500 years, his heart had long been as hard as iron. Time flew by. The day of the Heavenly Tao's descent drew nearer. Since arriving on the Moonstar, Wang Lin, the undead, had never left. Therefore, he was unaware of the dramatic changes in the Vermilion Bird country these past few years. The current Vermilion Bird Star was not only engulfed in the flames of war, but the situation was also extremely turbulent. In several crucial battles, due to the betrayal of subordinate cultivation countries, the Vermilion Bird country was being pushed back repeatedly by the Xiani clan. Compared to the turmoil on the Vermilion Bird Star, the Moonstar seemed exceptionally peaceful. 2 years passed in a flash. Only 3 months remained until the deadline. During this period, Zhou Ru had not spoken a single word. Moreover, the time she spent asleep gradually increased. She was in a state of slumber for most of each day. Xiaobai, however, remained by her side, never leaving. The sorrow in its tiger eyes grew ever deeper. Wang Lin's divine sense continuously monitored Zhou Ru. At the same time, he adjusted the spiritual power within his body, always maintaining it at its peak state. In the final month, Zhou Ru never woke up again. This was Li Muwan's nascent soul beginning to devour her. In order not to affect Li Muwan's awakening, Xiao Bai and Xiao Zi were sealed by Wang Lin. One day, he was alone, watching over Zhou Ru's bedside. However, gazing at Zhou Ru, a sharp pain surged in Wang Lin's heart. Time passed quietly. Finally, the last day arrived. Wang Lin could clearly sense that Li Muwan's nascent soul was about to awaken. However, just at this moment, waves of gray clouds suddenly appeared in the sky. Within those clouds, a gaze suddenly manifested. That gaze swept over Wang Lin, the undead, finally landing on Zhou Ru. At the same time, a giant arm extended from the clouds, pointing straight at Zhou Ru. Wang Lin's, the undead, eyes flashed. His hands quickly formed seals and pointed forward. Instantly, the life and death reincarnation scroll appeared in the sky. Begone! At this moment, the heavenly Tao emissary's giant arm had arrived, violently colliding with the gray energy from the scroll. Boom! A heaven-shattering sound reverberated. The gray energy emanating from the life and death reincarnation scroll retreated in all directions, and that giant arm was forcefully repelled. At this moment, Wang Lin's original body shot up, chasing after that giant arm. His right hand struck forward fiercely. Another loud bang was heard. The sky seemed as if it was about to collapse. Under the impact of the original body's punch, that arm actually disintegrated in an instant. This time, you still can't take Li Muwan's soul. However, as soon as Wang Lin finished speaking, 2 more giant arms reached for Wang Lin and his original body respectively. The original body let out a low roar and instantly transformed into a giant over 10 zhang tall. He stomped his foot and charged towards the arm. Although the arm was repelled again, this time it did not dissipate. Facing the grasping arm, the life and death reincarnation scroll descended from the sky, blocking in front of Wang Lin's, the undead, avatar. The arm directly grabbed onto the scroll. The next second, the life and death reincarnation scroll surged with a large amount of gray energy. Instantly, a white mist rose from the arm. Finally, the arm had to release the scroll and retract, but then the clouds were forcefully torn apart, revealing a giant face. This face looked plain and unremarkable, but looking at it instilled fear in people. It opened its mouth, and a gray light flew out, quickly forming a giant wheel. As the wheel appeared, numerous spatial rifts instantly emerged in the sky. Wang Lin's expression was grim. His original body instantly merged with him. But the giant face didn't even glance at Wang Lin. It merely extended its giant hand to manipulate the wheel. Seeing this, Wang Lin's, the undead, expression changed drastically because he was familiar with this wheel. It emitted the power of reincarnation. However, just as Wang Lin, the undead, was about to make a move, the power of reincarnation, in an instant, was applied to his body. At this moment, the power of reincarnation seemed to form an invisible cage, tightly binding Wang Lin's body. He couldn't even lift a finger. And that giant arm, after manipulating the wheel, swiftly extended downwards like lightning. Its target was aimed directly at Zhou Ru. No! Although Wang Lin's body couldn't move, his heart let out a frantic cry. 19 years of hard work, all waiting for today. Yet, at this moment, he could only watch helplessly as that heavenly Tao giant hand snatched away Li Muwan's nascent soul. Wanner, you waited for me for 300 years. I, Wang Lin, the undead, have no way to repay you. I will guard you until you awaken, until my soul scatters and my spirit disperses. If all of this can be exchanged for a miracle, I will wait. I will guard for a year, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, until the end of this life. How much pain Wang Lin felt at this moment, perhaps only those who have experienced it can understand. Picking up from last time, as everyone knows, in the CNNI original story, Li Muwan couldn't bear to devour Zhou Ru and gave up her rebirth. However, just as her nascent soul was about to dissipate, Wang Lin actually brought it into the heaven-defying bead space. Time flew by. A year later, although Zhou Ru awakened, she never saw her uncle again. However, whenever Zhou Ru encountered danger, a gigantic mosquito would appear and protect her. Although Wang Lin was unwilling to see Zhou Ru, he would never leave her alone on the Moonstar. Regarding the events of a year ago, Zhou Ru had no memory. Even the fact that Li Muwan's nascent soul had once resided within her was as if it had never happened. It turned out that all of this was deliberately erased by Wang Lin when he placed Zhou Ru's soul back into her body. One day, Wang Lin looked up at the sky. At this moment, his eyes were exceptionally bright. The life and death domain is at great perfection. Cultivation has broken through to soul transformation. One step further is soul formation. This step, I have already taken half of it. Prepare for soul formation. After all, only at the soul formation stage can one be considered a truly great divine ability user. Because in the cultivation world, a soul formation stage cultivator, no matter where they are, will be favored by many factions. Situ. Wang Lin took a deep breath and then entered the heaven-defying bead space. After absorbing the two severed arms, Situ Nan's nascent soul not only became more condensed, but his entire body also exuded a powerful pressure. This power even surpassed that of the corpse-ean sex ancestor. However, beside Situ Nan, another nascent soul lay quietly. Her eyes were tightly closed, and her entire body was enveloped by countless spiritual liquids. These spiritual liquids continuously merged into her body, nourishing her nascent soul. Wang Lin's eyes were full of tenderness. It turned out that these spiritual liquids enveloping Li Muwan were condensed from the dew of the heaven-defying bead. Their existence could not only repair Li Muwan's nascent soul, but also make her nascent soul more defined. Wang, you waited for me for 300 years. I, Wang Lin, the undead, have no way to repay you. I will guard you until you awaken, until my soul scatters and my spirit disperses. If all of this can be exchanged for a miracle, I will wait. I will guard for a year, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, until the end of this life. As he spoke, memories of the past echoed continuously in Wang Lin's mind. After a long time, Wang Lin turned and left the heaven-defying bead space. Although he had left, his heart remained here forever. Wang Lin's current cultivation had reached the peak of soul transformation. His domain was also at great perfection. Next, he would break through to soul formation. From soul transformation to soul formation, the key lies in whether one possesses enough immortal jade. The more immortal energy, the higher the success rate of soul formation. At this moment, an extremely dense immortal power, like a tide, continuously surged into Wang Lin's, the undead, body. Immediately after, the immortal power, in an almost wild manner, squeezed his original spiritual power. These two completely different powers, as if naturally opposed, used Wang Lin's, the undead, body as a battlefield and engaged in a fierce contest. As time went on, more and more immortal energy surged in. Spiritual power was gradually replaced by immortal energy. Time flew by. 3 months passed. Not enough. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes. Immortal energy seemed to flow within his eyes. No wonder soul formation cultivators are rare. The matter of soul formation, the immortal energy required, even some large sects probably can't bear it. No wonder. A month later, as all the immortal jades shattered, Wang Lin, the undead, was also forced to interrupt the absorption process. The immortal jade pagoda contains a large amount of immortal energy, but since I promised UK to help him preserve it, I can't take notice of the pagoda now. The soul refining sect should have quite a bit of immortal jade. Moreover, other sects must also have reserves. I'll just have to go rob some. I must reach soul formation. At that time, Zhou Ru was riding Xiaobai, lazily strolling across the boundless plain. Leaving me alone here, don't even know what you went off to do. You're so annoying. Little Ruer. Uncle, where did you go? Leaving me all by myself. Uncle went out to take care of some things. Now that things are handled, little Ruer, do you miss your parents? I'll take you home. Are you leaving? Haha, relying on the speed of the star compass, in just half a month, the vermilion bird star came into Wang Lin's, the undead, view. However, Wang Lin, the undead, sitting on the star compass, couldn't help but frown as he scanned the vermilion bird star. This is the Xianyi clan. Next episode, Wang Lin meets an old acquaintance, Wang Zhua. Fellow Taoists, please don't hesitate to like. We'll continue next episode.